Hello everyone, it is Susan here and welcome to Susan Hiles Art. Today is my crafty chit chat and slow stitching video, which comes out every Monday and is my favorite video of the week to make. Today we're going to focus on, I'm just going to share a bunch of things with you. And I'm going to show you a stitch or two, and yeah, I just have a lot to share with you today. So I guess I'll move some of this stuff off of the table, and I'm even going to put this to the side for a second. We'll get into that last page in a minute. I think what I want to share with you first, so most of you know that I did a lot of hand dyeing of some fabrics and laces when I started working on this Just Because book. And by the way, if you don't know Susan Taylor Brown, she's the one that came up with the Just Because book, and her link is below, so please go and check her out. She's very inspirational. And so I did a lot of dyeing, which even the dyeing of the fabric and the laces is something that Susan had inspired me to do. So yeah, so I get a lot of my creative inspiration and thoughts and ideas from Susan. And I have to say, I am so happy with all that I've used in this 3-page Just Because book. The only fabrics that I have left that I hand dyed are these two right here. And this is actually more like a lace type thing, but that's it. That's all I have as far as fabric goes. And I don't think I'll be using these. I used mostly, yes, I did hand dye these. So even this purple. And so most of what I used as far as fabric goes in the journal, I did hand dye, but not everything. So, and you'll see that as I go through the journal with you. And then as far as the laces that I dyed, I mean, this is what I have left. And so I have all kinds of stuff. Look at this, it's like a pile of treasure in there. Yeah, so this is all I have left as far as what I hand dyed. Now, this color was something that I did hand dye, but it was a months ago, but it worked for this project, so I did pull it out to use. But yeah, I used a tremendous amount of the laces. So most of this is just going to go into my stash, and I'm happy about that. Now, let's take a look at this. I'm going to actually remove this last page. I'm just going to kind of put it to the side for a minute. And let's look at what we have here. And everything is sewn. All the pages are sewn together except for that last page. And so yeah, so kind of let me just show you what I've done. So you know that last video we were working on this page, and I did go ahead and I sewed it onto the front. And I did it just with the running stitch, and I did it to where you could actually see that running stitch. I thought about hiding it, but then I'm like, well, no, because this page is very much about stitches. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna continue with that theme and, share all the stitches on the page. When I got to the edge over here, I didn't sew this frilly part down, but I sewed the underneath fabric. This is kind of like the block for this page. So what a block is, it's your substrate. It's your base page that you sew on top of. So that is what this is. So you can see that this floral is, it's the whole page. All of this is sewn onto this floral piece of fabric. And so I left it to where this was nice and loose on purpose. I didn't want to sew it down. I didn't think that that would look good. And when I decided on where I was going to place this on here, because like I could have slid it further down this way, but what I decided was, well, I want the frilliness to show when it's closed, right? So I think that it turned out just perfectly, because you can see it now on the edge when it's closed. And yeah, so that's all sewn together. And this is the additional or the extension piece on how I'm going to sew the pages together. So once that last page is done, then we're going to just take these extension pieces and I'm just going to stitch down them. I will hand stitch it. I do have a machine, but I don't know. I messed it up and whatever, but I will hand stitch. Oh, I hand stitch everything. I will hand stitch the 3 pages together. It's going to be a really simple stitch. And so that's that. And then this is, of course, the second page, and which you guys have seen many times. And here we go. That's the other side. And then this here is our third page. And I do have this piece of lace pinned on here. It's not sewn. It's the only thing that's not sewn on this particular page over here, because I'll either sew it on when I'm sewing the back and the front of this page together, or if I don't like it, I can still take it off. But I do have it there as an option to sew onto this page. So then that brings us to our last page. I'm just going to move it back on over. So it's going to go like, here's our extension piece back here, and it is going to go something like this. Okay, so let's talk about this, because I need some assistance here. Let me get this camera right. Okay. So I've been looking at this page trying to figure out what to do. And this piece of lace I've had on here for a long time. So this is actually a linen napkin that I had hand dyed back when I did this lace right here. So I've had this in my stash for a few months. And I added this on here. I just thought it went well. It's like a nylon, like pantyhose. It's just something I had in my stash from some flowers I got from somewhere. And I just thought that it looked super pretty. And this is a just because book. So, you know, you just do what makes you happy, right? You do it because you like it. And so starting with this, I know I want to start with this. In fact, let me go ahead and move these off, and let's just have this on here. Okay, so I know I'm going to be working with this right here. And since I have this on that page that I showed you before, and this is not straight by any means, let's see if I can even get this a little bit rougher edge here. I was thinking of, it's still not straight, so that means, well, I'm not going to worry about it. That looks okay. I was thinking of putting this here because I'm just trying to make the, let me move this a little bit here. I'm just trying to make the pages and like the whole journal feel cohesive, right? So having this, wait, this is bugging me. Something's wrong here. Do this again. Okay, so having this piece here kind of pulls the journal together because it is on this page as well. And, you know, and even though there's like a lot of colors on these pages, I do that purposely because, again, through color, you can make a journal or a project feel more cohesive. So I'm thinking about putting that there. I don't know. And then, you know, I have this. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll add that because I really like having that orange color on every page. So I thought about doing that. And I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure. But I looked through the stuff that I have set aside for my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery project because I was kind of at a loss with this page because I feel like I've used a lot in this book, and I just felt like doing something a little different, right? So I thought of this because I knew I had this in there, and because I have my stuff all together in a sewing box. And so I pulled this out. This is from, I've shared her link many times, and I'll try to remember to put her link below. But on Etsy, her name is Hannah. And the name of her Etsy shop is I Made It Atelier, and she's in Poland, and I just love her kits. I have several of her kits. I've bought a lot from her, and so this is one of her kits. So I knew I had that in my box, and I knew it had orange. So I pulled it out, and then just look at this. I mean, you guys, I almost audibly said, wow, when I did this. But this flower was in that little package. And look at that. Isn't that the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Is that weird that that's so beautiful, and that gets me like so like excited because it's just gorgeous? I just love it. And I'm just going to go in just a little bit. Okay, so that has to go there because I just think it's like made to be there. It just is made to be there. And so then what happens is the orange from over here now and the orange here now kind of picks up on one another, and neither one of the oranges looks out of place at this point because there's orange on here more than in one spot. So I'm happy with this. And then out of that same package, there was this. And I'm like, you know what? I really like that. And well, hey, it's my Just Because book, so I can put it on here because, just because. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm kind of thinking I might want this on here. Now, I'm not 100% sure because as soon as you put, you know, it's almost like having two focal pieces on one page. And I don't know that I would want this here and detract from that. I don't know. Like, because to be honest, I don't know what else I would put here. I mean, I can continue to look through my stash, and maybe that's what I'm going to do. Maybe a metal piece would look better there. I do happen to have, oh, you know what might be good? Ooh. And wait a minute, because I took some out a while back. Let me see. Sorry, I know you're seeing my reach here. But I want to grab some of these metal pieces that I had taken out a while back and never used. And I left them on my desk. But let's look at these. Maybe something here will work on this page, especially with the flower right there. So it might be pretty to just put a butterfly. That looks pretty. I like that better than the flower. So forget the flower. Forget the flower. I like that. I like the silver. This is more of a brushed gold color. And then this one is a little bit lighter. It has more of silver to it. I think I like the silver better than that gold color. And I think I like this. And this is a cheap one. This is not an expensive butterfly. I don't remember exactly where it's from, but these are like really, really, really well-made charms. Probably Tim Holtz or Prima, something like that. So those are super pretty, but this is a really cheap, it's like a little thin thing. It's not plastic, it's hard, but I kind of like that look on there, to tell you the truth. I also have these, but I don't know. I could do something like that, but then that's not silver. Not that it has to be silver. Well, let's put that back there because these two match better. These two. They're not quite the same, but better. So I could even do something like that. Ugh, now I'm having a hard time deciding. This, I think, is too big for a little accent piece on the side there, but I think that this could potentially work. I do. I think that could potentially work. But I can't say that I'm loving it. So I'm back to this because that butterfly just pops on that page. And then what I could do over here is maybe pull in a little bit more lace and do a little bit of layering with some laces. So let me cut this off. And let's see, what else do I have here? I could pull in some green, but I don't want to cover that lace up underneath too much. Nope. I like it just like that. I kind of like that. And I don't have to fill up the whole entire page, but I have to say I do like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin this down. So you guys know, just because you pin something doesn't mean that that's going to happen. But it's definitely, like what I'll do is, like I'm not going to sew this down today. I'll probably sew it down during the week, unless I decide to come back next Monday, and sew it with all of you. But right now I'm thinking I'll sew it during the week, and then I'll sew my journal together, and then we will be done with this journal. But I like that. I think that looks pretty, and I like that there. What do you guys think? Do you think that? I think that's like enough for the page. I don't know that I need more. I had, where did I get this from? There was something that I cut this off of. It's just strings of fabric. And I thought, it's something that I had set aside to use in this book, but that's not going to happen either. So I'll put that to the side. I also had like this branding strip. That's not what they call it with fabric. What do they call it? It's what they call it on scrapbook paper, but the salvage, is that what it's called? You guys let me know. It's something like that. And so it's basically, obviously it says, what type of fabric. I have no idea what I pulled this off of. But I also had this, and I don't know that I would pull any of this in. I could. No, because there's really no other white on this page. So I'm leaning towards this right now. Let me know what you guys think. I think that that would be good. And then that would finish up our Just Because book. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so you all let me know on this, and I'm going to kind of switch gears here. We are going to do a little bit of sewing. I do want to sew down. I'm going to move this butterfly for now. I am going to do a stitch, a pistol stitch in each of these leaves. And so I know I want to do that, and I haven't done the pistol stitch in like a really long time. But I figure, well, let me show you, and then I'll refresh my memory as I'm doing it. But the first thing I want to show you, in case you don't know, is the French knot. Because you basically use the French knot, the steps to do a French knot for the pistol stitch. And again, I hope I remember this correctly. It's been months since I've done the pistol stitch, but I use the French knot all the time. So a French knot, and I pulled out some heavier yarn here so you could see. Let me see if I should zoom in just a little bit more, and then hopefully I'll remember to zoom out when I'm done showing the stitches. So what you do is you take your yarn or your thread, you pull it through from the bottom. Now you take your needle, and you can figure out how big you want your French knot to be. So the more times you go around your needle, the bigger the French knot will be. And I'll show you. And of course, how the heaviness of the yarn is also going to play a role in that. So I put it 3 times around, and then you're going to hold this down. You don't want to let this go. So you're going to hold it down. Then you're going to come back and go back close to where you came out of the fabric. See, I'm back. I have my needle back in. I'm still holding this yarn on the left over here. And I'm going to pull that through. Still holding the yarn. I'm still holding that yarn. I'm not letting go. I'm not going to let go of that until the very end right now. And that is a French knot. So you can see the size of it. I mean, it's a good size, right? I'll do one more, and I'll do it with, I'll go 5 times around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to hold that yarn. I'm going to bring my needle back in close to where I came out from the back. Oops. And if your yarn cooperates, now it's, watch, I'm going to mess the whole thing. Par for the course, right? Oh my gosh, too funny. Well, I'm just going to pull it. There's a knot somewhere. I don't know, we'll see. It might work. Okay, so I think I somehow saved it. Not sure how. But now I'm going to let go and pull it. So now you can see, even though that didn't come out the best, but you can see that there's a definite difference in the size of those French knots. So that's how you do a French knot. So I'm just going to knot this off back here, and then I'm going to show you the pistol stitch. Okay, so that's the French knot. Let me get this ready. And now for the pistol stitch. Come in from the bottom. You're going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to hold the yarn down here. So watch, I'll go 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And instead of going back in close to where I came out, I'm going to go up here and you can make these as long as you want them. And I'm going to go in, let go, and that's a pistol stitch. So it has, I'll do one more, and maybe I'll do it with a different piece of thread, so you can see it. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time I'm going to do 5. I'm not going to go back in where I came out, and I'm still holding the yarn. You see I'm holding that yarn down. I'm going to go in. Whoops, I just lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I don't know if that's 4 or 5, but it's good enough. I'm going to go all the way up here, holding that yarn down, and pull. And that gives you your pistol stitch. See that? That's a pistol stitch. So don't you think that that would look pretty inside of these leaves? So that's my plan. That's my plan. I'm not sure which thread I'm going to use. Maybe I'll use, I don't know, maybe orange or white. I don't know. I wish right now you guys could tell me what color to use. So I know I'm going to have this. I mean, orange would be pretty. Let me zoom back out a little bit. So, oh, I'm so glad I remembered. Okay. Yeah, so what would look pretty? Orange would look really pretty, wouldn't it? And I do have this just sitting here, but is it enough to do 3 pistol stitches? Well, you know what? I do have more of it, and I could always, I'm trying to find a needle. I could always just grab some more. So I'm looking for a fairly big needle. I think I have thread in all of them. So I'm going to take this green out, and I'm going to put this in, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do those stitches. And then that will probably be it for today. And I didn't even get to talk to you about all the stuff that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, well, that's okay. All right, so I'm going, so knowing, so like if I look at this, right, this flower's kind of big. So I'm just kind of looking, the pistol stitch has to, you know, in order to really see it and appreciate it, it has to come more towards the end of these. Now, like I had said, that this right here is like a nylon stocking. Oh, so by me doing this, I could be messing that up, because you guys know if you have a nylon stocking and you put a hole in it, it's gonna run, right? Well, I'll see. So I could be messing that up as well, but hey. All right, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. I think I'm just gonna do 3, and I'm going to bring it towards the end, and I'm holding this piece over here down, but I'm going to go here, and I'm just doing it in the actual green stocking piece. So there we go. There's one. And I think that that looks cute, right? I think that that looks cute. So let me, now how am I gonna, how am I going to knot this off? I'm gonna have to use this knot right here to do this, if I can. And yeah, so I have to be careful, because I'm starting to run this, like run, you know, like the pantyhose kind of run. I'm starting to put a run in this, so I'm just going to be careful. In fact, I think I'm going to leave it just like that and stop fooling around with it, because I don't want it to run. And, you know, you could come in and you could put as many of these pistol stitches, you know, anywhere. Like I could come in and really, you know, put like, you know, like 3 of them on here. I could put different use different yarns so that, you know, there were some heavier ones and some thinner ones. See, I think that that looks really good. My issue is knotting it off. Yeah, so you can, you know, decide how much you want to put, but I think that for now, for this video, yeah. Oh, I don't know if I can pull that through. Let's see. Can I pull that through? Oh, I think I did. Ooh, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I did. Okay, good, 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 good. Oh yeah, I'm messing up this stocking fabric a little bit here, but the flower itself, that orange flower, will help to cover that up. All right, so that's that. So that's 2 of them. And you can kind of maneuver the pistol stitches around a little bit if your stitches get a little messed up. Like, what I mean by that is, like, sometimes, and you can see it here because I'm futzing with this a lot, where I went around, the needle is kind of moving. It's kind of moving down onto the yarn here. And you can just push it back up with your needle. Just push it back up. All right, and then the last one. Oh, why didn't I take this off before? How funny is that? Oh, I just took the needle. I didn't have this sewn down to the fabric. Oh my gosh, what a hoot. Oops. All right, I have to put this back on so I can pull that through. All right. And then, so this was just enough thread. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it in here just to hold it down. But when I go to pull that through, it really kind of messes it up. But that's all right. We got this. We got it. We got it. Oh, look at that. I pulled that way too tight. You know what? And I think this video, I think will probably maybe be the first ever Monday video that I didn't have to edit. I'm like so excited. I mean, I love editing. I edit almost all of my videos. But let me, there's something I don't like about this one right here. I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to fool around with that for just a minute here. I think it'll be okay. But then that's going to go back up there. So let me put that pin back in. And then that's going to go there. Oh, look at this. I got my fabric going all over the place over here. What a mess. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. Oh, and I did want to tell you that I'm so proud of myself. My local small fabric store through the month of January has had a clearance sale. And you know, I get the email and I'm like looking at the fabrics and I'm like, are there really any that I have to have? As I'm looking through the, I don't know, 100 of different designs, right? And there were a couple that were like, oh my gosh, I would really like that, but they're making like the minimum purchase is to buy a yard, and I don't want that. I'd rather have the little scraps. Like, give me the little scrap package. That's what I want, you know. But so I didn't go, and I'm so proud of myself. So proud of myself. All right, I think that that's going to be good. So it just gives a little extra to the flower. And I'll have to, you know, fool around with this flower to get it in the right spot so that they look good. and you can see them. Yep, I'll have to figure that out. And yeah, so that's it. That is it, and I love it. And yep, so I will either, like I said, I'll either finish this during the week and just share the finished with you next week, or I'll come back and we'll finish this up. I kind of would like to sew the pages together with all of you so you can see that final step, and how easy it is, because I don't want anybody to not do a journal, a fabric journal, because they're intimidated by how to attach pages together. And honestly, you can do it any way that works for you. There's no right way, there's no wrong ways, there's multiple ways. And I've done several different ways myself, this being a new way for me by adding on the additional piece to the end. But that's it. So I'm going to leave it there because I do like to keep these videos at about 30 minutes. And yeah, so this is exciting. We're almost done. So definitely next Monday, this journal will be done. And we can move on. I'm going to go and I think do another block for a simplistic block for my wall hanging that I was working on. So I think we'll go back to that when this gets done. So that's it. So again, look below and you can find the link to this Etsy shop. And that's about it. Yay, we did it. Woo, we're getting there. We're getting there. Almost done. And don't forget, let me know what you think of that butterfly. I really like it. I think it's pretty. And I like the pistol stitches, and I like actually right where that's sitting. So I think I'm going to just throw a needle in here like that. All right, everybody, I will see you Wednesday for my next Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Volume 3 video. I got my door done. Oh my gosh. It was such a challenge, but it's done. And then on Friday, I'm working on a junk journal made out of paper. And that's an open collaboration, and you're welcome to join in. And that's it. So I will see you all next Monday, and we'll get this done. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.